Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour. I'm your host, Matthew Hawkins, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and author, Edward Carbajal, the author of The Father of Evil, available on Amazon.com. Check it out, purchase it, support the man. Ed, what is going on, my friend?
Nothing much. Survived the snowpocalypse, so now we just got to wait for the big thaw, which it ain't probably not going to come for another 2 weeks out here on the East Coast. It's currently 18 degrees, so just surviving over here, like our McCready and the Thing. I'm just
like a little Patty Pimblett over there, huh? Just surviving,
just
while
surviving.
Gaethje gets the world title or the interim title back. Congratulations on that one, my man. Your boy picks up a title and in a fun fight. Not the most spectacular, not the most scientific fight of all time, I should say, but
he went back. Joe Rogan. Yeah, it was fun. And Joe Rogan said something like after the first round that resonated with me because, as you know, I'm a big Justin Gaethje. I watched pretty much his whole career. He was like, Justin Gaethje's fighting like this is his 5th MMA fight. And I was just like, I said, yeah, I mean, that's kind of why he when he was with World Series of Fighting, he got really popular really fast because he wasn't trying to. I appreciate him trying to finish him, but to Patty's credit, a lot tougher than he looks. That kid.
It's that young blood, man. Young blood. Mm-hmm. He's got a strong chin on him. We know that now. We didn't really know that going in. We hadn't seen it tested like that, and I mean, if that's the first on your resume, surviving 5 rounds with Justin Gaethje and taking some bombs that he took. I'd like your take on the fight. One thing I noticed right off the bat was the right hand was wide open. I mean, literally like seconds into the fight, I was like, oh man, Gaethje's just got to throw that. It's just a matter of time before he wears out Pimblett's chin, and Pimblett was circling to his towards the power punch of Gaethje as well, which all I could see was Bisping and Henderson in my head over and over again. What did you think of the fight? I mean,
that was of course it gave me the shot of caffeine I needed after the decisions that happened before it. But I was just literally like, because I was fighting to stay awake, even though they started an hour earlier. I didn't feel that way with all the ads and the desk analysts and all the other bullshit. But we'll get into that. But as far as the fight itself, I mean, watching him come and crowd him and just get in his face like that. I mean, that's why I love what Rogan said. That's the Justin Gaethje. Like when he doesn't do that, it's when I scratch my head. Like I even thought when I found out after the fact, because I have it in my notes here. I watched his post-fight press conference that Trevor Whitman and the guys he trained with told him not to throw any leg kicks until they got to the championship round. I think round 3 was the number that he gave him, but because of the fact that I think it was with Fiziev, he cited when he threw a leg kick at Fiziev was able to get a takedown, and they knew that Patty would be looking for the takedown, so he withheld the leg kicks until he wore on him a little. But even after he wore him in a little, he still had to be cautious because, as we saw, especially in that final round, Patty tried to leave it in there as best as he could. I know some people tried to knock the eye poke stuff, but it's fighting, man. I mean, the punch that he threw, especially the thumb shot, that slow-mo that everyone's citing, it's a thumb in the eye because the punch is coming in after he's trying to parry or whatever. That's the thing about those gloves. But I mean, we could go on forever about the gloves and blah, blah, blah. Fun fight, man. I mean, even Patty gave him props and didn't even mention the eye poke. So I think it's and I love the respect they gave each other afterwards. It looks like he's got the White House on the mind afterwards too. And if they put him, the unification on the White House, him versus what's his name?
Topuria.
Yeah. I'm forgetting because I'm distracted by all his personal problem, but it's like just put that on if you I know they were supposed to be planning it yesterday, so we should be hearing some of those about some of those fights soon. But if that's one of them, man, I mean, Gaethje said he's 100%. I would love to see it.
Yeah. I thought Gagey fought the fight that he had to fight to beat Paddy. After seeing Paddy come out and what he was capable of, and I underestimated him. I mean, I kind of rooted for the guy. I thought his story was fun. I think he's kind of a fun-loving guy right now. He kind of reminds, he's kind of a clean McGregor right now. Is kind of how it is, and hopefully it stays that way. But I think Gagey had to dig deep and kind of become that brawler to win that fight, because I think if he does a little bit more scientific or a little bit more strategy, I think he takes too many shots from the distance. Pimblett looked huge in there. I felt like he had to reach. He was able to use some knees and some just kind of longer punches that I think Gagey would have had more trouble if he would have kind of stayed outside the pocket with. With that said, I think if he fights Topuria, I think he's got to go back to the smarter style. Because I know it's fresh, and I don't want to take away from Gagey, but Topuria's punches are, at least from what I've seen, and obviously he's a lighter weight class coming up to fight Gagey, who's been above him in weight for his whole career. But I still think that from what I've seen from Topuria, his punches are. I mean, he put Holloway away, he put Volkanovski away. I just think you got to be very careful with that, and I think that's where you kind of strategize a little bit more, as opposed to this fight where I think you probably realized quick and early that we had to turn this into a really ugly fight to win. And I mean, 99% of fighters on this planet are finished in about 3 rounds, so it's credit to Pimblett. But like you said, the fight was fun, kept you awake. Late night for supposedly an early start. I kept looking up at the clock going, wait a minute, it's 1:00 in New York right now. That's when the fights are supposed to end. And, or had been ending for the last, 25 years, but now it's,
it's like they filled the time that they replaced, they filled with all that extra bullshit. And that's kind of like, I know a lot of people
it became boxing.
And that's the thing. Like when they had Travis Barker coming to the desk, and they went to the desks for these long-winded conversations, that I was just like that was the stuff that had me kind of scratching my head. Like, I don't mind the, less promos. You don't got to go to the desk so much. Like the ads, the ads that I know Paramount has to make their money. They asked Dana White about it, and he said that, and I was kind of like, you know what? I mean, when you're looking at it, when you pull yourself out of your fandom and look at it from a business standpoint, it makes sense, especially if these are going to be free. So, quote unquote, even though you're paying for the service still, somebody's got to make, everybody's got to get a little piece of the pie somehow. And if it's ads, then it's ads. But the I don't need to hear what Travis Barker thinks. I don't need 5. I don't know how many times they went to the desk to talk to that CBS woman. I forget her name. That they made her. She pretty much took Karen Bryant's spot, which I'm kind of like, I would have preferred Karen Bryant, because she's the new chick seemed kind of lost. She seemed like she was struggling to have conversations and kind of be in the know as with the company she was with. And I'm not knocking. I know she's a professional. She does it for a living. I do this. I'm doing this for my fucking little rinky apartment. But not trying to knock her. It just.
But you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid like she is to be the professional. I'll chalk that up to first time things. If we go to Karen Bryant's old school strike force, maybe she has some early stuff too. I don't know, but I agree with you. Karen Bryant is definitely the OG of like women's, commentary and stuff like that, or analysis and stuff. So it'd be kind of, I do agree with that. I got kind of an odd take, and I know this, most 99% of people will disagree with me. Commercials are going to be a necessity if it's going to be free, or essentially free. Like you said, get rid of all that other nonsense. Now, this is where my controversy is going to lie. They charge a good amount for their live events. If walkouts and certain aspects of the fight are permitted for those who spend the money to go to the fights, and make something special about the live event that you don't get maybe from watching on TV, I don't necessarily have an issue with that. If a commercial's got to be for a walkout and I don't get to watch Rose Namajunas walk down to the ring, then so be it. I get that when I spend the money and I go to the arena and I go see the live show. And again, that's not the most, but we're now paying $8 a month. We're not paying. It's not a pay-per-view for $80 anymore. I think you got to realize, the average fan needs to realize that maybe they're not going to get the same experience for $8 that they were for $80.
Yeah.
And I I don't mind a little bit of specialness to the live show. Now,
Yeah.
when you add in this Travis Barker stuff and all this other stuff, all
Yeah.
that does is ruin the live show.
Yeah.
Because that live show becomes long, and now you're sitting in that chair with nothing going on, and you don't have a
and then
kitchen to run to,
and then they kept throwing in promos and stuff for the thing that I'm already watching on Paramount Plus. I don't have to buy the pay-per-view because I'm tuned in already. So you don't need to show me 8 promos for the same co-main and main event. Like I'm in for the night. You got me. And to your point, the homies at the last round are asking if they added a specific pay tier that removes complete ads, would it work? How much would the tier be? I think that might be a little too. That's too much of a gamble.
They have a no ad tier right now, but that's only involving the recorded shows, TV shows, movies. Anything live is going to have commercials.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to have special feeds. I don't see all that happening. If they wanted to charge more, I guess they could, but I think that
who's
goes
going to pay it?
Then. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
All it'll do is create another stream where you can hack in and watch it for free from that angle if that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
I think there's just going to be less of. I think there's going to be some takeaway from it if you're only paying 8, 10. Even if they made it 20, there's something got to be less from it than when it was 80. So you know what I mean? So
but I think the other thing people are missing as we sat here, and I mean I don't know, I didn't see many people complaining about having issues versus everyone that when they were with ESPN, people always complained about issues with the stream or the broadcast, whatever. I watched this from beginning to end with no lag, no buffering, no nothing. It was seamless. Outside of all the shit that I already complained about, I was like, it took me the next day to figure it out, and I posted it on Twitter afterward because I was, the ads. I wanted to hear commentary, especially in between rounds of the main event. But then after, the morning after, I was like, you know what? It was actually a pretty good viewing experience. So, I'll eat the ads if I have to.
Yeah, I mean, I hit a couple small glitches. Nothing like it was just where it kind of got robotic for a second early on during the Allen Silva fight on the main card, where I think it was probably just a lot of people tuning in all of a sudden to the main card, and maybe there was just a small little thing on my end. But again, it was so minor. It was just like a pixelation all of a sudden for a tenth of a second. But
about Bruce Buffer messing up in the announcing. Yeah, I mean, he is up there in age though, so I kind of just chalk that off to him being, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's 60s, almost 70. I forgot how old he is. But.
Yeah. I thought it overall though, like you said, I thought it was clean. Nobody complained about not being able to subscribe. It was there. I was able to pause it is nice. You can pause it. You can pause it and go back, and you're behind, but you just fast forward. Honestly, knowing if I know this is a live sport, and a lot of people don't like to do this. If they're going to put a lot of that BS stuff in between the fights, I'm going to start watching it at 7:00 anyway, or 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to fast forward. Sure, it's going to cost me. I'm not going to see the first 4 fights live, but at least I won't have to watch the entire. And I'll be a little behind. I don't know. I just a thought there, but I did like the pause, being able to pause and use restroom or walk out of the room for a second and not miss something was kind of cool. I mean, overall, I'd give it an A. I thought it was good. If they can show all the stuff, all the walkouts, that'd be great. But if that's got to get cut, man, I feel like that's. I don't honestly mind. I know that kind of the walkouts are cool. Like I get the co-main and the main event, but I don't really need to see the walkouts on the prelims. Like I don't care about that anymore. I don't know. Does the average person really dig in on the prelims for?
Well, we're talking about UFC, so the average person is like a Zuffa Zombie UFC fan, so I don't think they give a shit.
I mean, they don't show up to the prelims at all when there's live events. But when they're at home, they're just dialed into the. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's just a complaint. Like I really don't. I really don't.
Well, what else is the internet used for?
I mean, I'd like to see them do the prelims like Bellator used to, or like BKFC does, where it's like when it ends, we just start the next fight. We're not on a time clock anymore.
Danny and the Last Round Bad podcast guys are asking, what do you think about Joe Martinez? He looked like, but he's been used as Bruce when Bruce Buffer's not available. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that happened. But I mean, I know Buffer's one of those guys that he's talked. I mean, this is already going on 10 years ago, but he says he's gonna do it as long as until the wheels fall off. A lot of the guys that have, OGs, Rogan and even Dana White, it seems like they want to keep doing what they're doing so they can't do it anymore.
Man, I watched Bruce Buffer announcing King of the Cage
Mm-mm.
a long, long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of making fun of him because he wasn't as cool as his brother back then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he knew it was his brother back then. I think I just assumed it was his brother. I don't even think it had actually come out that they were actually brothers. Maybe at that time of, he hadn't done UFC really yet, so I don't think so. Or maybe he had done maybe 1 or 2 UFC events up until then. But anyways, Joe Martinez is very good at his job.
Mm-hmm.
Is he? I guess he's the natural replacement, just because I can't really. Jimmy Lennon Jr. is old now, and I can't really name anybody else that the Nasty Man and all these guys from the past. What was it? The guy who used to do LFA was Big Papa Schneike or something. Like, none of those guys are going to do it. So, I do think Martinez probably is the natural fit. My only thing would be like, with the way the UFC is, I wonder if they'll want their own in-house guy, and somebody that they can kind of mold and shape. Martinez can do anything he wants. He can do 15 events a week if that's what he's able to do. I don't know. Buffer carried the name, he was the old school, so he got paid a ton of money. I don't know. I could see the UFC kind of starting somebody in-house and it kind of being somebody they kind of keep in control. But Martinez is, I would say Martinez is the top of the food chain now as far as everybody other than Buffer. And honestly, I like Martinez more than Buffer as for just a clean announcement. Buffer's fun for some excitement and nostalgia, but as far as professionalism goes, I don't think anybody's better than Joe Martinez.
Yeah, he does definitely just kind of get the names out there, not a lot of extra yelling and spinning and all that other shit that he likes to do. But
it's just clean how he does it. He's got a good rhythm to his announcing, and it's clean, as professional and stuff like that. I mean, I was always a huge Jimmy Lennon fan, and I don't know why. I thought he was kind of cool, and maybe it was the whole Showtime thing with the lights going on, and
I can't believe who's the Bellator guy. All right, I can't believe I forgot his name.
Oh gosh,
The Voice. I know what they called him. He calls it, that was his Twitter handle. But it'll come to me.
Exactly. So, Michael Williams or P. Williams or something like that, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
My mind's gone crazy. Anyways, so we had the UFC 324 last week. This week we get a rare scenario. Off the top of my head, I don't know if we've had it where we had back-to-back quote unquote pay-per-view numbered events week to week. But we do this time where we jump to we're going to Australia, right?
Sydney, Australia, UFC 325. Oh, look, they're going to get Martinez on the Last Round Boxing podcast. So if you guys aren't following them, make sure you shoot questions and stuff over there. Last Round Boxing. That's Danny Zaldivar and the homie doing good boxing stuff. They covered it. They were actually on site for, I forgot what boxing event. I shared a lot of their stuff if you haven't checked it out. But yeah, we got 325 this weekend. Speaking of covering stuff, might as well bring up the card so I can plug. I actually spoke with Terez Finney before he made his way to Down Under, who is on the facing Jacob Malkoun. Spoke to him for Spectation Sports, so this is his first fight. Outside of the Apex, man has had the hardest tryouts. Look, they even got him with his Contender Series gloves on in this picture. That's kind of, I don't know how to feel about that, but hopefully he's been proving them wrong and making them give. He's pretty much fought his way to get on a card like this, and I wish him well. The interview is actually linked if you're watching this on YouTube, if you want to check it out, over at the Spectation Sports YouTube channel. But he's one of many fighters that have been fortunate enough to cover their journey into the UFC or into the big leagues, however you want to call it. And it's what keeps me watching this for rooting for guys like that. So check it out if you haven't. But big card Down Under.
Not as loaded as the card we just came off, but still some names. I don't know a lot about Salkield. I know he's coming off of a nice win over Hasperat. So I'll take him to win. Jamie Malarkey's kind of a journeyman. Got a hand, 8 losses. But again, I don't know a lot about that fight. Didn't do a ton of research on that one.
I don't know why it's not expanding for me here, but I'm glad you said his name correctly because I was having trouble figuring it out.
Oh, I don't know if I said it correctly or not, but that's how I said it.
And this is the one fight that I didn't get to get in my notes to do a pick for. So you said you're siding with the Aussie or the?
I'm siding with Salkield in coming off a nice win. Like I said, 10-1. Malarkey, like I said, more of a journeyman. I think that I think Salkield picks up the win in that fight. I think that's that's what it looks like to me. It looks like we kind of got 2 local guys, and they're going to build one off of another's name. And
I wonder why they won't drop down.
Because they probably did as much research for the fight as we did. Yeah.
No, I'll go with you. I'll pick Salkield because I couldn't say his name right. So,
Tai Tuivasa. Taliesin Teixeira. I'm taking Teixeira, big man. To me, Tuivasa is kind of like Mark Hunt before Mark Hunt became good at winning. He's fun to watch, big punch, but I wouldn't ride too much on him picking up a bunch of victories. So I'll take Teixeira. I know Teixeira's coming off a loss to the beast, but I'm still taking him to win.
The same here. It's hard not to pick him when you look. I mean, Tuivasa, I know he's popular, but he's picked up a string of losses, and it's kind of hard not to see him. It doesn't seem like he wants to correct anything. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's more having fun, just getting in there and doing the whole thing. Versus, it doesn't seem like he's chasing anything. You know what I mean? So not to knock him or anything. I know everybody likes the shoey and all that bullshit, but I'm with you. Taliesin Teixeira.
Next match, fun matchup. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Rufy. Fun fight. Going to be a stand-up war, most likely. I know Rufy's probably, again, we don't have odds, but I imagine he's kind of the popular pick. But I'm going to stick with Fiziev. I was impressed when he fought Gaethje the last time I saw live. I thought he fought really well. I mean, it was a fight that was really close that night, between the two of them. I think he'll stay disciplined, maybe to not fall into the spinning stuff that Rufy can bring and some of the devastating stuff that Rufy can bring. I think a lot of it's surprise. So I think if Fiziev stays 3-round fight, I think if he's able to stay focused and kind of just work the way he does it, picking punches, kicks, I think he can pick up a decision win here. I think he's durable enough not to get knocked out by Rufy, and I think he might frustrate Rufy in a sense that Rufy's not able to land some of the wilder stuff that he has been successful with in the past.
Yeah, this one was a coin toss one for me. I mean, when I see a matchup like this, especially this one from the main card anyway, I think this probably has potential to be kind of like fight of the night as far as something being entertaining with a lot of back and forth, kind of like what we saw with Gaethje and Pimblett and Gaethje and Fiziev. Like I think this is a fun fight. I'm leaning Rufy. What did I put in my notes here? I'm not leaning. I'm leaning Rufy because of the chance of he might get some sort of TKO or something. But I think if no finish comes close, then I think Fiziev can take it away. So it's really hard to call him, but I'm kind of leaning Rufy, but I'm not going to be surprised if Fiziev wins it.
No, I mean, I agree. I think it's a really good fight,
Mm-hmm.
and probably the toughest one for me to pick as well. Co-main event, another fight that similar to the past one, where we were likely to get a stand-up war here. Dan Hooker, Benoit Saint Denis. Man, Hooker coming off the loss to Sarukian, and Denis coming off of the big win over Rufi.
Mm-hmm.
I lean Saint Denis because I underestimated him based off of the loss to Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
And then he proved me extremely wrong in the last fight over Rufi. So I'm gonna lean his way. I'm not sure where Dan Hooker is right now. I mean, I know he's a good, exciting fighter. He's gonna be kind of fighting. He's gonna be fighting in his backyard, so that's obviously in his favor when it comes to the crowd and even the judges, perhaps. But I'm gonna go with the newer fighter to pick up another win and but I think this just like the previous fight is going to be a war back and forth. I think you're going to see a lot of damage on both of these guys. I think it's going to be a fun fight, but I'm going to take Saint Denis to win by decision just because Hooker is as durable as they come, and I think that it'll be hard. It's hard to get him out of there.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you as far as like the another fun fight. I know the location favors Hooker because of the fandom or whatever, but when I was doing my research for him, most of Hooker's losses are by decision, but second to that, he's lost a lot by submission, which is kind of the edge that Saint Denis is bringing into this fight. So I'm leaning Saint Denis as well. Just I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up some sort of submission, or at least is aggressive enough with. If it goes to the ground, there's a lot of crazy scrambles. If it's like Hooker defending and escaping a lot versus Saint Denis attacking, I could see decisions going his way too. And here we are with the main event that people seem to be on the fence about.
I mean, to me, this is one of those main events that was just thrown together to because they had an Australian card, and this is the fight that they, had to throw together to make it work. So I get everybody agree to, to me, it's the easy fight to pick, right? So like you either believe Volkanovski's not as good as he was 7 months ago to beat a guy that he beat 4 rounds to 1, or you believe he basically kind of aged and Diego with the fight against Silva over the last year, kind of that barn burner with Silva will be enough to improve enough to win.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to make that pick. I got to go with Volkanovski based on what I just saw 7 months ago. It's hard for me to. I mean, I feel like I would be trying to create a scenario where he doesn't win. And with that said, I'm rooting for Lopez. Met the dude, friendly kid, fun to fight. I have no problem rooting for him. I think that he could be some blood that's going to lead to some fun fights.
Yeah.
Volkanovski's an OG who's put on some great fights, but I mean, honestly, I'll be rooting for Lopez, but I don't, unless he lands something wild, I don't see how he can win this fight. We just saw it.
Which we know can happen, but I mean, everything you just said, I mean, it's hard to find a way. The time, especially with the gap in between from the first fight and this one, I think that all just favors Volkanovski more. Lopez now knows what he feels like in there, but so does Volkanovski the other way around, and he won. So now if anything, I don't know if there's adjustments. There's enough adjustments that are going to be made to change the outcome. So it's hard for me not to pick Volkanovski, especially because of where they are and everything else. And but like man, it'd be nice if Lopez won. Some upsets are nice, especially with the new year and the new platform and all that stuff. So yeah, it'd be nice.
I mean, I'm just always up for some new blood, and it creates the chase for the champion if he wants to try to get back in it, stuff like that. My thing is, this fight just happened. It's generally when you have a fight that's a rematch of like a 4 rounds to 1 decision, usually you're like, oh, that fight happened like 3-4 years ago. They're two different fighters. Where are we at now? And I feel like, I mean, literally the last time Volkanovski walked out of the cage, it was, to a beat up Lopez, like, so his confidence has got to be off the chart. any self-doubt. Really, I can't imagine there's really any self-doubt after you just kind of mop the floor with the guys. So, yeah, I think Volkanovski wins. But I think it's a fun fight. I think there's probably moments, but I tell Topuria did it, but everybody else has kind of struggled to do what they wanted, and Islam, but Islam's kind of his own, his own breed. So, I'm going Volkanovski to win.
Yeah.
I think TKO this. I'm going to say TKO like 4th round. I don't know if this one. I don't think this one goes 5.
Yeah, if anything changes, I could see a finish coming. But yeah. It's I mean, I get where everybody's coming from with this card not being as not like last week, but and I think we'll get stacked cards. I know that we got a comment. I don't know how to pronounce that. True. But we will never get a stacked card because they already got paid and won't be the same. I don't know about that. I feel like they'll still try to deliver on some aspects, especially when they come to the weeks that stand out. International Fight Week, obviously the White House card, and then when they come to the Garden, because they can't come with no weak sauce to the Garden.
No, and this is not out of the ordinary for an Australian card. They're feeding a home born star. They fill the card with a bunch of the locals and names that are in the UFC that are local fighters. And this is not, I mean, this is, we got Paul Craig versus Shogun on a main card for, these kind of things. So like there's not exactly it's what they want to do for certain cards, and it helps draw crowds. Now, the only thing that'll help change that is if the crowds that are live decide that they're going to hold back their money and not just, fly out to any card that they can get. Speaking of that, something of note, I started receiving info about Apex events for the first time and tickets for those. So I thought that was kind of odd. The pricing was much less than I had seen in the past. So, and they're available on like access tickets and stuff now. So, not very many. I mean, it's a smaller thing, but if $250 puts you in the last row of the T-Mobile, I might tell you to go to an Apex event for $250 if you can sit 30 feet from the cage. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the card, but like Horiguchi's fighting next weekend. There's some guys, like if you get a chance to see Horiguchi fight from cage side, I mean, the experience there might be worth it as somebody who's knocked the Apex. If they add some seats and the prices, they get to a point where it's not you're not spending thousands of dollars.
Well, if it's not underground rich people fights,
yes, just make it where it was the price. Okay, yes, I can either go sit upper deck at a pay-per-view or I can go to the Apex. That's to me, that's a decent crossover if I get a seat where I'm I'm hearing punches land. You're right there. Yeah. And then you're in a place where it probably is more accessible. You probably got fighters around. It's probably a pretty cool environment. From everybody I've heard, it's a cool environment. On TV, it sucks to watch for me. Yeah. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. And I know that they're still working on expansion there. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not totally against them having something if it's available for fans to show up and there's kind of an experience that can be a part of.
It's not just UFC friends and family.
If it's not just recycled
everybody.
Fights. Yep.
Like I could fucking fly out there for an Apex. You know what I mean? And it'd be worth it at those prices.
So. Yeah, if you could go and get close and kind of relive the those days. So of getting that close and seeing extremely good athletes. Like I said, not every Apex card would be worth it even for $250, but if you look through it, you got Jalton Almeida next weekend. You got some world-class fighters fighting on some cards. So there is a chance to see some really good talent up close, which is obviously what when you get a chance to see a guy who's a legitimate, like a Horiguchi, when you get to see a guy like that up close, it can change your perspective on fighting. I mean, you're seeing something that you don't get to see through the TV or even in the crowd from way up top. When you're right there, you see the athleticism, you see the everything that they bring and the just the strength that a lot of those guys have, and stuff. So, but I thought that was cool. With that said, these fights are this Saturday, hour early start time. Again, matching last week. Fans can check out the podcast at Combat Hour on Twitter, Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour on Instagram. Follow me at FightFanHawk on Twitter, MMAHawk21 on Instagram. Follow Ed at Carbizol on Twitter, Carbeersol on Instagram, Old Head Carb on Twitch, and check out author Edward Carbaha on Amazon for his books, The Father of Evil and Brushfire. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for the comments, questions. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Be safe in the crazy weather.
Yes.
Peace.
Expecting more too, which kind of sucks.